Hi, my name is Rebekah Ricks. I'm here at the Homeschool Connection with our Friday version of the brew, and it's called an extra shot of espresso, because sometimes on Fridays your coffee is good, but you could really use an extra shot of espresso. So here we are with that. And I just got my new mug last night. It says Jesus fills my cup. Is kind of how I feel today. So a brew is a mixture of people, things, and events that come together to form a more potent whole. And today, an extra shot of espresso is when you need that little bit of extra to make your whole a whole lot better. So today we're going to do our devotional, and our verse is Psalms 90:17. And it says, "And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it." Now, I'm kind of a planner. I'm one of those that are like a semi-planner. But for here at school and at work, I like to plan ahead. So before Christmas, I know this sounds crazy, I set out all the verses for pretty much for the year. And I figured, you know what, I'll just pray about it. And whatever week they fall on, they fall on. These are verses I like that are special to me. And I kind of felt like God would, when the week comes, that'll be the verse for the week. And then God will show me something from it that works. Or, you know, I just figured that everything, that God has a plan for everything. And so whatever week verse it is, that God would give me something for that verse. So last week I looked at this verse and thought, why did I pick that? That's kind of an odd verse. "And let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it." Well, this week personally has been one of the roughest weeks in my life. It has been a really rough week. We had a close friend go on to be with the Lord, and it's just been a hard week on lots of different levels, work level and emotionally. And so I feel like I need more than just a shot of espresso. Sometimes we need that from God. So this week I was driving home from work, and I live in Florida, and most people think of Florida as beaches, but I live in Central Florida where it's mostly farmland. And while I was driving home, there's this area that I drive by all the time. I drive by it every morning to work, and almost every night on the way home. I drive by it, but I came by, and I'll post a picture in the blog later, and it was a beautiful sunset. It was just beautiful, and when I saw it, my heart was touched that God would give me that picture, that beautiful moment there. And then I realized that our verse for the week is, "Let the beauty of the Lord be upon you." And to me, that beauty of the Lord, and what is the beauty of the Lord? Well, it's that peace He gives us, that peace that passeth all understanding. When we think of beauty, we think of a piece of art, or maybe a person, or different things can be beautiful. But to me, that sunset was beautiful. And the beauty of the Lord, you know, God can give us that peace that passeth all understanding. And I just looked at it, and I'm not a crier. I don't cry. I don't cry. And I even hate emotional TV shows because people cry. I really want to be like, suck it up. But in that moment, when I looked over and saw it, I realized that it wasn't really a suck it up moment. That sometimes God does want to give us things. So the beauty of the Lord, just looking and seeing those small things that He gives us that are beautiful. So I got to see that, and it said, "The beauty of the Lord be upon us." And it kind of broke my heart a little bit, and I had to take a moment. And it says, "Establish the work of our hands." You know, we can take that moment to let the beauty of the Lord be upon us, to take that moment to let all the things that have gone on. Like I said, this week has been crazy. Whenever you have a death in your family or very close friend, it's hard. It's really hard. I think it's the hardest week that I've ever had in my life. Really hard. But the beauty of the Lord was there for it. The peace of the Lord was there for it. And just looking and seeing a beautiful sunset gave me that peace that He that did. And then the rest of the verse says, and establish thou the work of your hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it. Let the beauty of the Lord be upon you and establish our work. We get that beauty, the peace of the Lord, but then it's kind of saying, once you have that, it's not time to stop. It's time to keep going. It's time to work. It says, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it. To establish something is to plant, to get in there and do it, to plant, to establish the work of our hands. We can feel the beauty of the Lord and the peace of the Lord, and then He gives us the strength to continue with the work that we need to do. Things don't stop when bad things happen. We do have to suck it up and move on. But we have that peace that God's there, that His beauty is there all around us, and we can get that peace from Him by just looking around and seeing the beautiful things that He's given us. The garden, the smile of a little baby, art. I even think that your pets, your animals, those are part of those things that God has given you to give you peace and show us that He loves us in all those little ways. But we can stop and enjoy those and feel that peace of God. But then the work is still there. It's always going to be there. But God can establish it and help us move on and finish that work that we need to do. He's so good to us in so many ways, and I feel really blessed that He kind of gave me this verse this week that I had planned out a long time ago. So I'll read it one more time. And the beauty of our Lord God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands establish thou it. Hopefully that'll help you this week with your coffee and your extra shot of espresso. Wherever you are, remember you're not alone, that we're here to help. Homeschooling is hard. Being a mom is hard. Life is hard. Things are hard. But there are people there, and that's what we're here. We're here to help you with your homeschool needs and your other whatever you need. I hope you all have a great week.